Hi guys, this is another pencast. This is an improvement on an earlier one. Um, what we're wanting to work out is the changes to export revenue and import costs when the New Zealand dollar either appreciates or depreciates. But as you can see, it's problematic for me because it's best explained in words, but unfortunately I like using diagrams because I think diagrams are sometimes more useful for giving you that overview and insight. So let's carry on. So really the take-home message is going to be this. If the New Zealand dollar appreciates, then net exports goes down. If the New Zealand dollar depreciates, then net exports goes up. Right, so here it is in more detail. New Zealand dollar appreciates, means that export revenue goes down, import expenditure goes up. Therefore, it must mean that net exports goes down overall. Now just remember, when I mean export revenue, that comes from multiplying by the price, the New Zealand dollar return of an export, times the quantity of exports sold. Alright, and it's the same sort of thing for export expenditure, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Okay, so let's just go and have a look at that. Here's import. So what we've got here now is the price, which is the New Zealand dollar expenditure, or cost I call it. Cost is a shorter word than expenditure. I mean, they're slightly different things, but it don't matter. Times the quantity of the imports. Agreed. Yeah, okay. Again, when the New Zealand dollar depreciates, what you're going to learn is that export revenue goes up, import expenditure comes down, therefore it must mean that net exports goes up. That's good. Okay, so let's find out why we have export revenue increasing or decreasing, or why we have import expenditure increasing or decreasing. So what we're going to look at is an appreciation of the New Zealand dollar. Now here's the appreciation. So this was the exchange rate at T1. This is the exchange rate at T2. So what we can see is that the New Zealand dollar has gained in value. It's gone from buying 1 to buying 2 US dollars. Alright, so here's our first scenario. Let me just go over it. I've set it up so it's a lot easier for me to talk about it. I don't have to be doing the drawing and talking at the same time. It's a bit too much to handle, I think, for a male brain. Alright, so look, we've got these exports going to other countries, and they've got a US dollar price tag on them. In other words, they're priced in a foreign currency. It's 100 US dollars. The goods go to their overseas destination, and the overseas destination has got to send to New Zealand 100 US dollars. Now, we don't do our shopping with US dollars, so those US dollars have to be sold in the foreign exchange market. And at the original exchange rate, if you remember what it was parity 1 for 1, the New Zealand exporter, because this is what this is an export, would get 100 New Zealand dollars. Now, if we repeat the process, but the exchange rate has appreciated, what you can see, the exports go to the overseas destination sends to New Zealand 100 US dollars, and now when those 100 US dollars are converted into New Zealand dollars at that appreciated exchange rate, what happens? The New Zealand dollar return drops, doesn't it? It goes down. So look, you know, the volume of exports is not going to change, because from the buyer's perspective, the price isn't changing. What's going to happen is that the New Zealand dollar return is going to go down. So this is fixed, this is going down. This thing here has definitely got to go down. Good, got it. Now here's the other export situation where we've got exports priced in New Zealand dollars. Now that previous one that we looked at could be for something like milk powder. This one is for export education. So we're selling a service, aren't we? And citizens generally have to come to New Zealand so that the service can be delivered to them if we're talking education, although that's changing. Alright, so the service is supplied to a foreigner. Now that foreigner has got to stump up with 100 New Zealand dollars, don't they? I mean, it's just expected. Now, at the initial exchange rate, which is parity 1 for 1, they only need to come up with 100 US dollars because that'll convert to 100 New Zealand dollars. Zoompa, alright. But then we've got that appreciation of the New Zealand dollar against the foreign currency, which in this case is the US dollar. So the next time they purchase that service from us, it's going to cost them $200 US. They're going to get a bit of a shock, aren't they? So what's going to happen is the quantity of that service that they demand from us is going to go down. So that's going to go down. They might go and undertake the education in Australia. And notice that the New Zealand dollar return is not changing. The New Zealand dollar price hasn't changed. So again, something that is fixed times something that is going down, it must mean that export revenue can only do one thing, and that is it goes down. Alright. Now, here's the other case of where we're importing. And I haven't got my little label there, I'm a bit disappointed. Okay, but look, here are the imports. They're coming from a foreign destination to New Zealand. Right, so that means that somebody in New Zealand has to send 100 US dollars to pay for those imports. Now, at the initial exchange rate, you can see that it's only going to cost them 100 New Zealand dollars. That's okay. But when the New Zealand dollar appreciates, guess what? The New Zealand price for those imports goes down, doesn't it? It only now costs 50 New Zealand dollars, because remember, the exchange rate is 1 for 2. 1 New Zealand dollar now can be exchanged for 2 US dollars, so you only need to supply $50. So what's going to happen here? Well, look, the price of the imports are going to go down in New Zealand dollar terms. The New Zealand dollar cost of the imports is going to go down. What's going to happen to the quantity of imports? Well, our demand for them is going to increase, isn't it? So the demand increase is going to be bigger than the price decrease. And so you know what's going to happen. Imports are going to go up. And that is import expenditure when I say that. Okay, moving on. So that's the summary. An appreciation of the New Zealand dollar means at the end of the day that net exports goes down. Is there any way of remembering that with some sort of mnemonic? I'm not sure that there is. Right. So look, here's my challenge for you. Now, can you undertake the same analysis for depreciation of the New Zealand dollar? Can you actually complete this challenge? This challenge will have three parts, won't it? I didn't intend to do this, but we'll just go and do it anyway. So it's so we've got the export side, haven't we? And so what we've got is that we're exporting in foreign currency. Let's say 100 US dollars. Yep. Then we're exporting in New Zealand dollars, 100 New Zealand dollars. Yep. And then we've got imports coming the other way, haven't we? This way, 100 US dollars. Yep. All right. And so remember, we've got 1 New Zealand dollar did equal 1 US dollar, and now we've got 1 New Zealand dollar only equals half a US dollar. So what we can say is that the New Zealand dollar has lost value, it's depreciated. Right, look, I've given you a pretty good start on this, so I expect you to give it your best. Okay, catch you. By the way, this is much better, isn't it? Much better. Faster too. Alright, catch you.